and gentlemen, welcome to X Marks the Box, an Xbox podcast. My name is Potato, and I'm with my good friend, Alice. How you doing, Alice?
Hi, my pronounce is she, they, and this week, I think there's, it hasn't really been a lot going on, apart from some, a bit of a slow news week. Apart that, Forza Motorsport is coming really soon. It's coming to early access. And there's also some interesting bit of news that comes from Sony Towers. And that Jim Ryan is finally leaving as PlayStation CEO. And apparently he's been in the Sony companies for about 30 years. So that's something we'll be discussing about later on topic this week. Also, I'm very. Oh, yeah, you are pretty much excited there. But
I'm very excited. Yeah, just cue the Gala music. Yeah, confetti. I'm very excited that he's gone. Goodbye, good riddance. Get lost. No one likes you, Jim Ryan. Boris Johnson's twin.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of him. No, he's done a good job for the investors, a good job for the company, but for actual customers like us, he was a bad boy.
We'll discuss more of that later in the show. But we'd like to begin with that we've been busy the past week.
Oh, yeah.
Last week, we did a Starfield review, and I thought we were going through this, and then we went ham onto the details, which is necessary. We went through all the points, and I know we said a lot of the hard-hitting stuff there, but we gave out our scores, and last week, it's 10 out of 10 and 8 out of 10. We'll discuss more about Starfield soon. Also, we also got the Space Skyrim, and we've been in the spoiler cast where we went through the entire main story. And apparently, it was supposed to be about spoilers in the later parts of the game, except it turns out going through mission by mission is not really a good call.
I mean, I did say that. You insisted, though, but it's fine. It turned out good, I think. So we got a 2-hour podcast where we go through it mission by mission. If you want to go through the whole story with us and what we thought of each mission, but then there's also a director's cut, which is just the spoiler stuff, which is just the super interesting stuff. So you have a choice between the two if you're interested in the spoiler cast. And we don't talk about any of the faction missions because that's our spoiler cast for this week.
So if you want to catch all of this, be sure to follow our YouTube channel and you'll get all those videos. And you'll also get videos of our tier list where we rated the Starfield perks based on A to E. Well, it's avoided anyway.
Or double S, then S, then A, then D, then E. And also
you get the whole picture.
Abandoned. The usual tier list thing.
Originally, it was going to be just me, and I was going to talk about them for up to an hour. As it turns out, Lewis kindly came over, and he's pretty much in for surprise because we ended up doing 3 hours of it, which is one of the longest videos we ever did.
Yes, it's a 3-hour video. We've broken it up into 5 parts on the channel. Let us know if you want the extended cut, which is the entirety of thing, the Snyder cut of the 3-hour take. Let us know in the comments below. But we thought it'd be better to just get it up into 5 individual tier list videos into each group, each grouping of tiers.
Well, actually, I split it into 5 parts because I think nobody will be able to pay attention to it for 3 hours, which is equivalent of, I think it's Oppenheimer, wherever it is.
It's the Lord of the Rings. It might be a nice video to have on in the background if you're doing something and just want to listen to what we think of each one.
Well, the only thing is,
great detail about each rank.
The only thing is, it's a gameplay I put in with it. It was supposed to give backing music, but it just somehow has a bit of a popping around it. So I tried to fix it and couldn't get it done. So if you had problems with it, then I apologize, really. And I just hope there's some other way to make sure it doesn't pop like that in the future. I mean, it's all captured using a Gato. But yeah, so
Yeah.
the reason is that I split it into 5 parts is because Starfield perks are separated into 5 skill trees, which is physical, social, combat, tech, and science. So you get a video for each one of these trees. But since it was meant to be a one-off video, I've decided to release all those parts for different days of the week. So you have like 5 days to be able to catch all of this up. Otherwise, you can just like book up them as watch later, and you can watch all of them anytime you wish. So it's all there on YouTube, and I hope you enjoy it.
Also, if you decided on what you want to spend your points on, it's a nice way of sorting it out. Highly recommend checking out the tech tree. That's my favorite of the trees. So that's the 5th video in the series. I would definitely recommend that one. Maybe what was the other? What's the red one called again? The good one, is that science?
It's combat.
Combat.
Blue
combat
one is science.
My favorite one.
And I think it could be purple for technology. Yeah, or science.
Yeah, purple for technology.
Yeah, it's definitely in the description. And there's also like, I think it was green or yellow for social. Well, I think it could be green, but yellow is for physical, I believe. But whatever. I mean, it's all there. There's 84 perks. Yeah, it went into like a huge detail, and we can't just simply say, oh, what's this? Put an S, moving on, because I think there's a lot of details there, because I've reviewed the properties of each perk as well as its usefulness, the bonuses, and how easy it is to challenge, because to be honest, some of the perks are just like a bit of a pain to like grind for it, just like how much experience you need for the level, which is an absolute pain in the butt.
Yeah, it can take a while to grind up levels and stuff, but then you did you had like farming techniques and stuff to get your levels up quicker, which I should probably start doing myself.
Well,
speaking of which,
actually, my first playthrough I reached to 207. When I moved over to the New Game Plus, I focus mainly on the quest line to make sure I don't encounter any glitches by doing other stuff. And after doing Vanguard and Crimson Fleet, I'm about 208, meaning it takes way more experience than it takes. So even if you're above like 200, it still takes eternity to get there. But what I did find is that I got the level there by doing adaptive frames, and you can get this faster on PC. But there's apparently a different kind of farm that's best for both PC and Xbox. It's that if you get a perk for, I think it was animal stuff for collecting resources there. I don't remember the name. Yeah. But if you get that, so you can get animal husbandry for your outpost, go to Purist 2, I believe, get a specific kind of animal. And if you put the animal husbandry there, then it will spawn the animals there. Just destroy the facility there, click on the door to repair, costs no resources, and kill the animals again. So that way you can get loads of experience. And that is like a current exploit, which should be efficient on the resources instead of having adaptive frames, which can slow down because you have so many storage boxes there. Okay,
that's something I might need to do then. I want to try and get. So I've done all the. Well, I'm on I've done. So I mean, we should just just transition this into what we've been playing, because we both been playing Starfield. So.
What have we been playing?
I've been playing Starfield. Just finished the UC and Free Star Collective storylines. I'm currently now just got Ryujin to do. That's the only faction I got left to do.
Same.
Saying that, I did have. So after last week's episode, and I was saying this is a 10 out of 10 perfect game, not had any glitches, I had my first story-breaking glitch where I can't do the Red Mile mission. It basically says, talk to this woman about the Red Mile. And I go up to her and she just won't talk to me. She just ignoring my very existence, like I don't exist there. It's really frustrating. So I have 2 save files, because I started that mission, and then I went and did all the UC stuff, and then I came back and it was still glitched. So I'm like, damn. So I loaded up my old save file. I've done all, and I actually finished the Red Mile and the Free Star Collective stuff, And then I've done another save file where I've gone and finished all the UC stuff. So now I've got 2 different save files that I've done both different factions, which is very frustrating. But I think I'm going to just continue on from my Freestyle Collective one because I prefer the rewards you get from that than the one you get for the UC. So I'm going to just stick with that one, I think, and then go back and do the UC at another point.
Yeah.
But it's just frustrating. I had a game-breaking bug that stopped progression for me. Very frustrating. Be careful when you get to the Red Mile mission. Be careful that might be a bug for you. Make sure you save it beforehand, and if you clear this bug, load up that save. Then don't proceed like I did because I was an idiot for proceeding.
Well, actually, I'm going to be more detailed with it because it's not just the Red Mile that has a game-breaking bug. There's also game-breaking bugs during one of the UC missions, and there's a couple of missions on Crimson Fleet where you may encounter the bug. There's a first one which is Weak Meets Keen, where you may not get the mission to pop up. But also, I think there was one that said about where I think it was an infiltration mission where you get hitched and then you had to go in to steal the uniform and go through the mission. That one's got a bug that involves if you go with the key and somehow the conversation starts without actually contacting 2 important people first, then you may experience a bug. So when because the mission ultimately pops up after, I think it was I think it's I don't know, but I think it's just I don't remember the exact mission name for it, whether it's to do being the best or something like that. And that's where you if it automatically activates after you do the mission. So if you get this and it's the achievement mission you get, then once you get to the key, make sure you come to find these 2 people first, and it will automatically start the conversation. So you'll be able to continue with the rest of the mission. So you had no problems with it anyway. So neither did I.
No, I was going to say I had no issues with the Crimson Fleet missions or no issues with the UC missions. So it's the only one I've had any issues with was that one mission in the Freestyle Collective. And when I went back to an older save, it worked fine. So it was just one weird glitch that I managed to occur. So yeah, unfortunately, I got 2 different save files, and I've got a progression in both of them. So I don't know what to do. I think I'm going to, as I said, I'll continue off with the Freestyle one I've just finished because I can always go back and do the UC. But if it's still bugged, I can't go back and do the Freestyle, so I thought I'd just continue off with my Freestyle one. But it's just annoying.
Well, there's also some game-breaking bugs because both of us are now onto Reagin now, and apparently there's some game-breaking bugs there. But the biggest one is to do with the particular character called David Farron, who's SSN and building in New Atlantis. If you come over and if he's actually there by the window, you're good to go. So you need to interact with him. You can't talk to him, but you can interact with him in New Atlantis. And make sure he's there just to check it regularly before and doing the Reagin Industries, because one of the later missions right at the end, if he disappears, then you may not be able to get to meet him at all and continue the mission. And that's a pain in the ass, which is something I'm not looking forward to be honest. However, However, I did look around and I noticed there could be some conflict where during one of the missions where you interact with someone who's investigating a tree and once you get research for it, the last mission of it, which could be called Late Bloomer, that it involves going to the SSNN building in New Atlantis and you had to upload the diagnostics over to it. And I think it was that part that I may have remembered that David Farron is not there. So if you ever do any of those missions, best if you don't do that before you can complete sabotage, which is a mission name for it. So that's something you need to keep in mind. Okay,
fair enough. I'm not that far into Reagin. I've literally just done the first mission again because I already did it before, but I needed to do it again on my new save file.
I did the first mission too, so
yeah.
But that's
so I haven't got far. I literally just collected coffee. Let's just put it that way. That's all I've done is collecting coffee. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing some more of that. This game has taken over my life for the last month or so. But Forza is coming soon. I'm very looking forward to that. And then after that, we got Mario Wonder and Spider-Man both coming out in the next couple of weeks. So
Autumn
there's a lot to look forward to. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff to look forward to. Yeah, and also, I also want to play like a Dragon Ishin that's coming to Game Pass, and I also want to play Persona 5 Tactica. So there's loads of stuff to play, especially if you're a Gamecast subscriber, because apparently Cocoon's very good, and I haven't got around to playing that yet. And so also Sea of Stars is supposed to be very good, and I have not got around to play that either. And that's all on Game Pass, so that's just very, very cool for people who are Game Pass subscribers. But yeah, we're still enjoying our Starfield. We're still talking about it. We've got the podcast, Space Skyrim. Go check it out if you want to talk. If you want to hear us talk about Starfield for another 3 hours, we talk a lot.
Well, okay, I think you're pretty much like going well ahead with this whole thing. But I think if I offer my views into it, that before we can do that, as we've been discussing about game-breaking bugs, so far, went into New Game Plus, and I think it's really great. I'm actually enjoying it, and I think it just gets rid of all the baggage of the first playthrough. So I've been mainly focusing on like the USA Vanguard, completed the Crimson Fleet, and it seems I haven't run into any serious game-breaking problems, but I just went into this mission with it, and it's just a pain in the butt. I don't want to spoil too much, but one of the later missions in Crimson Fleet where it feels like putting modules on your ship and you had to fly around some kind of hazardous environment and you had to fly in the ship. And this is actually really annoying because as I went through the mission, you had to travel to this planet and then the military is supposed to protect me from those environments. And they're like, oh no, I'm losing health. Need to get over the ship. Went through the whole ship, sneaked in and activated and then came back. And then as soon as I left, oh no, the ship's receiving damage. Can't fast travel. I had to wait for the ship to explode and then fly out, and then my ship exploded. And it was impossible because my ship has already lost a lot of health when I docked it in. It doesn't even repair it. So what I did is reloaded the save before entering that environment, go into space, put all the points into engine, shield, and even grav drive, because there's no combat there at all, and wait for the shields to fully recover, because you can't recover it when it's damaged. And then when I fly in, dock, and then do the mission again, that's another 15 or 30 minutes, and come out, and I should have enough shields energy to even fast travel anywhere. And yeah, but that's the biggest problem I had from both of these missions. But I don't want to say too much about Ryujin because it could probably kick my ass.
Yeah, and also I was just gonna say, you're talking about the Crimson Fleet mission there. So this week we're going to talk about the UC and the Freestar Collective, but next week we'll be talking about the Crimson Fleet and probably Ryujin if we both finished it. So if you want to know what more detail what Alice is talking about, and you're going to go into full spoilers in that, check out those podcasts when they come up, because you'll probably go into more detail about why that mission annoyed you, I would imagine. So you can go into great detail without worrying about spoilers here.
But anyway, so to wrap this up, we're still playing the game. I recently built the ship this morning, which, I mean, I don't have a ship in the first playthrough, which is quite cool. It's white with, I think it's pink and green on it. Well, I think it's pink and blue, pretty. I don't know. But for this playthrough, it's just focusing on British Racing Green. When I built it, it just kind of looks like a Starbug, but it's definitely a fighter jet kind of ship. And I got from Stroud, the Tayalu engineering, and some other bits like Hope Tech, and also been to the Red Mile as usual. Has the best parts: shielded cargo and the multi-frequency jammer. Need those for contraband every time.
I've been using them,
and that's what I'm focusing on. But since we've been talking about bugs. Like Lewis said, I find that to make sure you don't get into any bugs, as with any other Bethesda game, you need to make sure that when you come into, if you're into the next mission or you're just about to start it, always make sure you create a manual save before each and every one of them. And if you're going to do the mission, make sure you complete it all without taking breaks, because what happens is that if you encounter a glitch, or you waste too much time on the mission, you may get into bugs and you may end up losing hours because you can't beat it. So if you reload the
Yeah.
save, it will make it possible they will go all the way and have another stab at doing it. And it's also good if you look on Reddit or Google where you have all these bugs and have all the suggestions there, and that way it just helps to like deal with any game breaking glitches. I mean, that's how I did mine. Like, I
Also,
went into the game breaking bug with the main story, and what I did a workaround and skipped over a part of waiting, which otherwise freezes my console up. So, and that's how it's
okay.
done. So a bit of troubleshooting helps.
Yeah. Also, I told you this tip on Space Skyrim last week. For people who don't listen to that, if you have a save file that's like corrupt or like a glitch on it or whatever, and you want to start a new save file or go back to an older save file, what I've done is I renamed the ship to, I said Red Null done and called the ship that, because then the save file gets called that when you're in space, because it names the save file is named where you're located. So if you name the ship after what the save file is about, you'll know which save file it is in the future, and you can go back to it. So I put Red Mile glitched, and then went into space and saved it, and it says that on my save file now. That's a little recommendation from me to you as a little tip that you could do if you have any corrupted save files or anything like that. But yeah, that's the first glitch I've had. It's a bit of a bummer. Before that, as I said, I was giving it a 10 out of 10. I still think it's one of my game of the years, but that does give me a bit of a negative opinion on it a little bit. But I still really enjoyed it. That being said, should we move on to the news?
Yes.
The news at Xbox O'Clock.
So we've got a lot to cover here, look, but we'll try and go over it quickly. So Starfield's Shattered Space has been announced. Is it? I didn't see this. What was? I need to have a look at this.
Yes.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Well, apparently, Starfield, Bethesda has now announced the first DLC, which doesn't have a release date, but it's supposed to give out some extra bits of story, which,
Ooh.
like, according to this website, it could well be on like March 2024. It's on PC version, and they give out some details with it. So the Shattered Space is only like name dropped, and it's complete with the Lego for it. So, but it's likely to go deeper into the lore. So I don't know whether this is like similar to Dragonborn or even the Blood. I think it was Blood Moon for the Skyrim. But yeah, it's just
Interesting.
it's definitely the first expansion, and it didn't reveal too much, but it should be able to like go much deeper into the story. So therefore, yeah, it's something to look forward to. But either way, I think. Oh yes, there we go. Oh, it's actually mentioned on. Yeah, there we go. Constellation Edition and Premium Edition upgrade. You will actually get access to that Shattered Space expansion, and it should be coming out. Well, it should ideally be next year, but it's something to look forward to. So if you've been neck deep into Skyrim and you've been enjoying it, then this is something you can look forward to. But I think it's going to be months until you can get to get involved with the Shattered Space. So yeah, pretty much.
I mean, yeah, and if you got early access like we did, it's part of the early access package that you had, so you will have access to this DLC, so you don't have to worry about buying. Well, so basically we've both paid for it already, so we don't really have to worry about it too much. So that's good news. I'm excited for it. I don't know what else I could really say. I'm really just looking forward
That's
to it.
okay. If you don't have anything else to say, then just move on.
Yeah. Also, well, I don't want to go into spoilers, but I have a theory of what this DLC might be about. But maybe we'll talk about that in the spoiler cast when we get around to it. So yeah. So let's have a little look. Okay, what was the next bit of news story we wanted to talk about?
Well, the X screen, which is
Ooh.
something that is Phil Spencer may have interacted with, but apparently it's now officially licensed by Microsoft. So if I bring this up, this one allows you to attach the screen to the Xbox the Xbox Series S console, which means
Oh yeah,
with a bit of a clip there, you'll be able to play games on the move, and I think it's really fantastic. So, and now it's now the product, which is designed by UP Spec, is now like licensed by, well, it's approved by Microsoft, which means
that's
means
awesome.
that it's going to be reliable and it's something that you can use.
I've heard really good things about this. So it's essentially it makes your Xbox Series S a portable console or like a laptop, basically. I've heard really good things about this. I've heard people really praising this little bit of kit. So the fact that this is now officially endorsed by Xbox, that's really cool. That's really good news. I might buy one now. Well, I would have to buy a Series S as well, so maybe not. But it's a cool idea. Definitely, like, I can imagine being on a plane because my family lives in Australia. I can imagine flying on a plane for 24 hours and just playing their Xbox the whole time. I think that'd be pretty rad. Scooping up the huge industry missions while I'm flying on a plane. That'd be pretty cool. Said I am going to get a new laptop soon, so I could just play on my laptop. But you know what I'm saying? It's an interesting little piece of kit for sure.
Well, hopefully you'll get
the
to
Series
visit.
S is very nice.
Hopefully you will be able to get to visit Australia at some point. But I suppose that would mean you need to make sure that you have everything prepared so you can keep on Xbox gaming there. But
yeah, that's the priority.
at the moment, it would appear as if you can get it on Amazon, at least in the US, because at the moment you only have an off-brand for the other screen that you can put on your Xbox, because it's the same brand that do screens for like Xbox Series X and possibly PlayStation. But for this one, you can get it straight from the UP Specs website. And you may possibly be paying for like international shipping. But if you have actually bought it from the website and it delivers to the UK without paying any extra for it, then let us know in the comments, because we're totally interested to have this accessory for Xbox Series S, which I got at the moment next to me. Such an amazing console. I've been using it to stream gameplay for the tier list, so this is definitely good. So back to satisfaction, and getting the screen will make it so good. But funny enough, it just reminds me of that screen that you used to get for the PS1, the LCD screen. Luckily for
I
me,
remember that.
I went through some like secondhand shops and I got a small PS1. I've also bought a LCD as well as Final Fantasy VII, so I can be able to play these games on that small screen. So it's just perfect.
Nice. I love the fact that you've spent all that money to do that, and I'll just play Final Fantasy VII on my Switch, and it's like get a better experience probably because it's HD and stuff. But I respect the hustle of doing the retro way. I love it.
Mind you, this was purchased like about 8 years ago, and it didn't.
Oh, fair enough.
It didn't burn a hole in my pocket anyway, so it's.
I love it though.
Pretty much good.
So also being officially another official Xbox product is a gold Xbox controller. Ooh, shiny. I haven't seen this yet. I need to have a little look.
Yeah. So. Well, if I just like set this all up, because right now you can just get this little controller there, which is gold,
shiny,
which is casted on the black.
I like gold.
It's like one of those gradient controllers, and this one, it does actually look really good. So it's pretty much like any other controller, only it has metallic gold for the D-pad, and there's also rubberized golden diamond pattern side grips. So I think it does look as if it's a extra for this one. At the moment, you can get it from the Microsoft Store for about £65. So, which is also dollars in the US. But I think this is actually really interesting. But I've already got a Starfield controller, and that suits the bill.
Yeah.
But if you're into if you'd like the design of this and you haven't got a Starfield controller, then it's certainly an option for you, which you can currently pre-order, and it should be coming out on 17th of October, which is around the same time that a Starfield WAP, the first final WAP for the Xbox
yeah.
to come out and put on your Xbox Series X.
I've got the wrap already on its way, so I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, this is gold. So it's like, I like gold. Not Dr. Evil. Gold member. Yeah, he loves gold. He lost his genitals in an unfortunate smelting accident. Anyway, I was wondering if it's a gold controller, because like sometimes you'll get like gold plated stuff, like there's like, and it's like 20 grand. It's like, no, it looks gold, but it's not actual gold, which is fair, which is fine. I like, because sometimes you'll get gold plated stuff that's literally worth like thousands of pounds. So it's glad this is just regular controller, just with like a nice gold tint to it. It looks nice. I might buy it. I don't know. But I've already got 3 controllers. I don't really need another one, to be honest.
I'm a 90s kid, and what's really fantastic is to do the clear things to go with like controllers, consoles, not. And it started with the clear microphone, and then I can put like one of the best. I think it was one of the best things, which I'm a proud owner of. Which, if I can bring this up on,
bring it up.
Hang on a minute, just trying to bring this one, and
got a bit of a blocked nose. So I apologize if that gets picked up in the audio at all. I do apologize. Just a bit nasally today.
That's okay. The web view. Look at that.
Oh yeah. So I mean, like, this one of the key selling points of the Starfield controller is the fact that the triggers are clear.
Yes.
So I love that. I love a good clear stuff. A clear Game Boy clear ending. Yeah. Like, I love that. Like, I like to see all the parts inside the console. I think that's really rad. They need to do more of those.
Yeah. But interesting fact, this is actually the Nintendo 64 I bought, and it came with Pokemon Stadium. But I was like so into Pokemon. I'm like, oh no, I need Pokemon Stadium too. Oh no, I don't have any money. I just can't get it. Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo. And then it turns out I have the money for that and Pokemon Crystal. So I was like Pokemon mad, but even got some like classic Nintendo 64 games onto it, but not a lot, a huge collection. But I still can fault the utterly amazing, the Cleared Red 64. And it's just got me so interested into these sort of things. In fact,
so is that supposed to be red? Because it looks kind of pink to me. Am I
it is
blind
pink. And it's just like, when I got the Nintendo Game Boy Advance, the first one is like the fuchsia, but it's supposed to be like clear red, which, if I can bring this,
I think I got the clear blue. I think I got the clear blue Game Boy Advance, like the big, like the big, like the one that's like the same kind of form factor of a Switch. Like the buttons are on the left and the right and the screen. Because a lot of people, when they say Game Boy Advance, they think of the SP, which is like the foldable one. But it's the one that's like that shape, like PSP shape.
That's
or,
what I got here.
Switch. That's the one. Yeah, I got that in blue see-through.
Clear blue is a popular color for it, and when I first got it, it's like, oh, this looks cool. And then here's a fact: like, when on my birthday, when it's 2001, like I just went over to like I had a birthday because my childhood holidays is always having it in the holiday cottage, and my birthday's when we're about to leave for holiday. So then we just went over to Cribs Causeway. There's a game shop. Used to be a game shop, but now it's just like little to none games there, unless you want a PlayStation 5, which is only 1 or 2 places there. Yeah, even though Apple Store's got the DualSense 5. But back then, it's just like, you can go to game and you can get one of those new Game Boy Advances and you get games with it. So I bought this one with F-Zero Maximum Philosophy. So, and this is quite nice for my birthday. So I just came over, went to the food hall, and it's like Burger King and everything. And then I was like, oh, cool. I just took it out and I'm like, oh, cool. And the first thing my sister said when she saw it is like, oh, it's pink. Is that pink? And that's even though the other shop says like it's clear red. I was like, I'm not sure about this. But I think looking back, it's just like, it's cool. and also it's really good for the nostalgia. And now seeing it, it's just like really great because this is when I played F-Zero Maximum Philosophy, and it's like, oh, cool. Even though the screen's a bit dark in certain lighting conditions, and the screen is really dark, but I just ended up getting Kurukuruin and some other games to put on it, and it's just what really makes this system like so nice. I like it.
Yeah. So what does this have to do with the golden control? I kind of trying to
Because
lost
you said
the track.
You said about like special consoles and you like things that are like golden. Well, the reason I brought this up because the PlayStation 4 came in some really cool editions, and there's a PlayStation 1, and that's when I found my most favorite edition, and that's the PlayStation 4. I think it's a 500 edition. Oh no, it's 500 million. 500. So if I just grab this and then, oh, there we go. It should be a better image this time. Let's see.
Drinking see-through liquid.
This one is a clear through navy, which has got a bit of rose gold or a bit of like pinkish gold there, and it's like, wow, they look so good. I'm so tempted to get one of those controllers. But it's a limited edition and you can only get it like in the limited quantities. I was like, I just really love to have this system because it looks so good and it ticks all the boxes. Yeah. Gold and even the clear blue. And these are like really amazing. And this is what makes me feel like Microsoft should be like releasing clear systems, and that's like clear Xboxes and whatnot. And I feel these are actually additions that I love to have instead of having that is completely covered in gold and black. But then I think it's more of a Zelda thing that you always expect like golden things, golden consoles to come out. So yeah.
Yeah, like I just bought the Legend of Zelda Switch controller. That's got gold on it and it's see-through. It's just gold and see-through. Yeah. It hits both your marks. But yeah, I mean, Xbox needs more limited edition consoles. I mean, they've got the wrap coming, which is going to be cool, but yeah, more limited edition consoles would be cool. I mean, that's the thing that was rumored in the leak as well, that we might be getting design labs for consoles, so that'd be cool. Fingers crossed. Yeah, if they design labs say you can have a see-through console, you're going to buy one literally straight away. It's like, must buy see-through Xbox. Yeah, so that was random. So what else did we have to discuss today? There's a brand new Bethesda game that's just come out. I know, and it's not Starfield. Shock horror. There's a brand new Elder Scrolls game that's just came out, and people will be like, "What? Are you high?" It's like, no, I'm being serious. There is a brand new Elder Scrolls game that's just come out, and it is only on Android phones at the moment, and it is Elder Scrolls Castles, and it looks rubbish. It's basically Fallout Shelter, but with Elder Scrolls, and the art style just does not look very good. I don't think personally. It like chibi. It almost looks like the Mii's almost from like the Nintendo Mii's. Kind of the characters. I don't know. It's weird, but essentially it's the same as Fallout Shelter. You just have a castle and you build new rooms and new areas and you unlock new stuff. If you have an Android tablet or Android phone, go check it out. It's a free game. Yeah, it's a bit disappointing that this is what they're putting their resource and times into, but there you go. You have a new Elder Scrolls game for you guys.
Yeah.
I have an iPhone, so I haven't got access to it, but I do have an Android tablet, so I might download it later and play it on my Android to give it a try. But yeah, they saw how, I guess they saw how financially successful Fallout Shelter was, and they thought they could do the same thing with Elder Scrolls. Kind of makes sense. But I'm not a mobile gamer. I know that's what Xbox are trying to do now. They're trying to invest in mobile games, but I'm not a fan. What do you think? You have any interest in Elder Scrolls Castles?
Not into it. But I think I could
No.
see the similar treatment for Starfield, where it involves building
Oh,
a
God.
ship and you have other people in. And you can also like
Bro.
fly around all the different systems and adjusting the power for all the engines and weapons. And oh, wait a minute. I can already play this right now. Because if I go to Steam, buy Faster Than Light, and this gives
That's
you the
exactly
same...
what I was going to say.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just going to say that. I was like, that sounds like Faster Than Light. Like, they could just... I would play... If it was like their take on Faster Than Light, I would actually play that. That actually sounds fun. That sounds more fun than Fallout Shelter to me. I'm a space nerd. I love me some spaceships and stuff. That's like all I do on Starfield is make spaceships. So I'm down for that. Do that. Starfield spaceships, or whatever you want to call it. Ooh, $1 million idea. So if you want to check out a new Elder Scrolls game, go play Elder Scrolls Castles only on Android. Or don't, and play something decent.
Like Faster Than Light.
Oh, yeah, Faster Than Light. Or actually just play an Elder Scrolls game like Skyrim or like Oblivion or something, or Elder Scrolls Online. Don't play that, please. Please don't do it. Why?
Yeah.
Why would you do this?
Anyway,
Why?
moving on. So we're going to briefly have a look at the Fantasy League, and there's been some interesting developments where right here at the moment, it looks like I'm at a really good lead because according to my list there, Cocoon has just been released and it's supposed to be a huge game, but it hasn't got into the 90s day, but it still gives me a bit of a good boost there. And now just got like about 206. So the Cocoon has just came out of the Game Pass, and people have been saying it's actually quite good.
It's got one more point than Starfield, so there you go. It must be definitively a better game, apparently. I've heard good things about Cocoon. I was like, I didn't buy it for myself because I was like, I don't think it's coming out this year. And then suddenly out of the blue, it's like, oh yeah, it's out. It's coming out. I'm like, oh, damn. And then Alice is just like, yeah, 17 points for me. I'm like, damn it. You're already too far ahead. Why?
Also, I got about 3 games coming out, which is Sonic Superstars, Ghost 102, and Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1. And that's coming out this month. And that's a good thing because it should be able to define the points I have. Bad news is that there's nothing about Sword of the Sea, whether it's coming out this year or not. And it's very likely the Mia the Hollower and Hololight Silksong may not come out this year. With the former, like, it's been very quiet on it, so I don't know if it's actually coming out this year or not. Because, mind you, it's made by the Yacht Games of, like, Shovel Knight.
Club, yeah.
So it would be really sad if it doesn't come out this year. But then again, it hasn't been a lot of it, so it's quite likely. But on the counter picks, I'm expected to lose points for Assassin's Creed Mirage, which I thought is going to be a huge loss, but it's currently got 76 at the moment, so therefore I'm only going to be losing 6 points.
It's not a bad call. Forza Motorsport has got 84 points on the Metacritic, but I haven't got my additional points yet. So that should have 13, 14 points maybe for Forza Motorsports. I don't know. But then I've got City Skylines 2 coming out, Alan Wake 2, which looks great, Persona 5 Tactica, Super Mario Wonder, Super Mario RPG. I've got some good stuff still coming out this year. So I have a chance, but you're over 100 points ahead of me. So I think you've pretty much won this. But I'm not giving up. I've still got 2 months. I've still got a couple of games to go. So you never know. If Mario Wonder gets a perfect 100, I might have a chance.
Well, you may have to read the room because at the moment, Forza Motorsport's got 82 on it in the moment.
It says 84 on mine.
It says
weird.
82.
That's weird. On mine it says 84. That's weird. Why is what? I could show you my screen, but on my screen it literally says 84. That's weird. It says 82 on yours. What the hell? That's weird. How's that happen? That's really weird. Why has that happened? Okay, well, whatever. Anyway, it's not below 70, so I should get points for Motorsports. I was hoping I'd get more than that, but there you go. 8 out of 10 on IGN. I just looked it up earlier as well. So, boo, IGN, boo.
Also on like
It's Xbox, so we can't give it a 10. Duh.
anyway,
That's my impression of IGN.
so Assassin's Creed Mirage has got 76 points, but they may make a huge comeback with Spider-Man 2, and it's coming real soon, and it could well be a big game of the year. But there's already people coming out, and apparently you can get all the achievements within like 30 hours or some sort. So I think there's a lot of buzz around it. So, but there's also like Silent Hill 2 Remake, Death Stranding 2, Stellar Blade, and a few other things. So I really doubt as if PS4 Troughs may actually like come third place, unless you've kind enough to help out like deliver Helldivers 2. So
oh yeah, I forgot to do. I said I was going to do that, and I forgot to do that. Sorry, I need to do that. To be fair, I picked the games for them. So next year, hopefully, we can get one of the guys on in January, and they can help pick. They can do their picks themselves this year. It would be a lot more fun. And next year is going to be an interesting year because there's nowhere near as many big games. It's going to be a bit more quiet next year, I think. This year has been insane. It's been stacked. You just pick one of our lists, you've got a really good year of games. And the fact that there's 3 lists of really good games here is insane. Apart from, Redfall, which is completely dreadful. But we won't cover that again.
yeah, more like Dreadful. Dreadful.
Hey, Dreadful. Hey. That cost me, that did as well. I like the fact that you pick Cocoon and it's done really well. I picked Last Case of Benefit Fox and it just -4. It's like, we just pick indie games and you end up picking all the good ones. I picked the bad ones. I don't know how I managed to do it. Oh well. Never mind. Yeah, I think you've won, but there's still 2 months to go. I've still got a couple of really big games to come, so you never know. Shall we move on to our topic of the show?
Yes.
It's time for the topic of the show.
The topic of the show is Jim Ryan is about to leave Sony on March next year.
Yeah, celebrate, party.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jim Ryan, bye-bye. I feel bad, it's like I shouldn't be celebrated, but then he's rich, he's retiring, he's happy. Whatever. It's not bad, it's not like he's died or anything. I'm just glad that he's going to be gone because I'm hoping, well, as an Xbox, I am. As an Xbox fan, I'm hoping that they pick someone who's more like Phil Spencer, someone who's a bit more gamer focused and not a suit. I mean, that's what Jim Ryan just comes across as a suit. He doesn't really get gaming. He holds a controller like this, for God's sake. And he basically is anything about making money, but it's nothing about actually making good games. All this, complaining about Call of Duty was pathetic. He's not been a good spokesman. I miss the old face of Sony. I like it when they are really cool, personable people who actually come across as nice people. I think they need someone who's a good face for them to going forward. I think personally, but what do you think?
Well, at the moment, in case anyone's know what the heck's happening, Jim Ryan is the former president of the Sony Interactive Entertainment and is founded in America. So, as I just going through his history, there's not much of a history he has done, but apparently he's been in the business for 30 years with Sony. So it doesn't reveal too much, but apparently he works in the European branch of it. So he may have contributed to some good marketing during the 90s or even did good work for the releases for Sony. So maybe he's did extremely well with that regard. It was when in 2018, he took over the role from Kazuo Miura's role as deputy president of Sony Interactive Entertainment and had someone else working for the chief executive officer, and that was until like next year that one is promoted to president as the Sony Interactive Entertainment, and that's when he's pretty much a head honcho of that. So
yeah. I mean, yeah. So he's not leaving till March next year, though, is he? So he's still president technically. He's not former president yet, but he will be soon. They've done we got an article here to go through from Bloomberg saying why people are happy that he's gone, and I'm one of the people who
before we get into it, first of all, like when he just came over, that's when he becomes a public interest where he heads Sony, and to be honest, he did a bunch of things. Like he manages to drive PlayStation, did some interesting decisions, and somebody reached out to more Western gamers than the Japanese gamers as well. But I think at the same time, he just kind of alienated the Japanese gamers, which kind of serves as a good target for like Microsoft to build more interest of Japan. So that's really interesting. So he could be considered to be a really good icon, and you may think as if it's a sad thing for PlayStation gamers to like miss him, but apparently they're actually cheering for his departure.
Woo! Well, it's one of those things. As I said at the beginning when we were just talking about this a minute ago, Jim Ryan is very good for stock, like people who have stock in Sony, people who are actually running Sony, people who have money invested, like business people. But for consumers, he's been an awful leader. I'm sorry. He put the price of PlayStation up. He put the price of PlayStation Plus up. He charges £10 extra for upgrading to the next generation for games. He decentralized PlayStation and moved it all into America, so they killed off the Japanese market, like you just said. It's like so many bad things that he's done. He's complaining about. I mean, we'll talk more about it. You have some quotes on here. But yeah, he's not been good for us, the consumer, personally, I think. He did a good job for the business side of PlayStation. Obviously, PlayStation has been super successful, and they're still number one in the business. But personally, I don't like what he's done to PlayStation. Personally, I prefer PlayStation at the beginning of the PS4 generation when they were more pro-consumer, personally. But that's just me.
Well, if we go through this article, that video game enthusiasts don't normally care too much about executive shuffling, but news this week of the retirement of Jim Ryan, boss of Sony's PlayStation, evoked an odd reaction from gamers. Raccooners is cheering. So, as I went through the whole article, that there was a lot of celebratory gifs and memes from PlayStation fans and liking them for it. So apparently this is some interesting bit there. So according to this article, he's been working at Sony since 1994, and he's been working in marketing. Well, yeah. So, and he has various roles across the organization. There's still not much from the history there, but it just seems like as if he did some advancements that helped Sony like turn from the Walkman builder to like I think it was the turn it into a household name that if you think Sony, you think of PlayStation, and I think Jim Ryan could be like celebrated for it. But he eventually climbed up that ladder, and he reveals himself to be more of a businessman. And that's pretty much not particularly good for I think it's for the games industry, because game industry is supposed to be games. But what has been going on for decades is that it keeps being like led by business people, and it turns games into the business instead of something that is like truly fun. And I think this is what really contributes to the poor image of PlayStation between 2019 to 2025.
Okay. Well, we're in 2023 now, so 2025 is 2 years from now. They might have corrected ship by then, hopefully. Yeah, they do come across as tone deaf to me. They're not. I don't know. Like, I just miss the days when they would literally like be a bit more like talk to customers, and they like treat us with some respect, and actually like actually like not. They, like, I don't know. They just come across as like kind of patronizing, condescending. They're very similar to when they launched the PS3 generation, when they were like saying stuff like, if you can't afford a PS3, get a second job and stuff like that. Like that, you like they're more arrogant Sony again, and I can't stand arrogant Sony. And this is not me being a fanboy, because Xbox had this phase as well at the beginning of the Xbox One generation. Oh, we have an Xbox for you. It's called an Xbox 360. It's like, what are you talking about, Don Matrick? It does feel like every generation, the leader of the previous one, or the one who did the most success, gets cocky and then puts someone who's like business minded in front of the cameras afterwards and completely tanks the business. Like, it feels like it happens every generation. It's weird. Yeah. I much prefer PS4 Sony than PS5 Sony and PS3 Sony, put it that way. They're very arrogant and cocky at the moment, and Jim Ryan is the face of very business-minded Sony, which I'm not a fan of personally. But that, that's my opinion. That's just a theory.
Well, there's a lot to say about Jim Ryan, and I thought he made some like dumb crates, but I think it seems like the only time that he made it's even something he regrets over, and it's just that in some interview, when he gets asked about backwards compatibility with PlayStation games for, I think it's PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, he said here that the PS1 and PS2 games, they looked ancient. Why would anybody play this?
Those games are the ones that made you fortune and made you a success. Why, like, it's so disrespectful and rude.
He's been in the business since 1994, so I don't know what he's
exactly. They're the ones those awful looking games are the reason you have a business in the first place. You fool! Retro gaming is like such an important part of the business, and the fact that he says that is like just proves how out of touch the guy is. I'm like, he might be a decent bloke in real life, but his face of PlayStation is not. Him as the face of PlayStation is not being a good fit for me. I feel like they need someone a bit more like gamer focused at the front. Honestly, I really do. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, he thinks as if people would grow up from the PS1 and PS2 era. I recently been seeing a speed one of Mega Man X5, and that came out on the PlayStation. So, therefore, that PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games, people are still spending time with it, and same with retro games, and people to suggest that people have moved on from it, it's just still out of touch, because while you may think as if people moved on to the bigger releases, there's some people who still appreciate retro games. And there's even like remakes, re-releases, remasters. Even Final Fantasy VII has already got like been remasters and remakes as well. So I was going
to say you got some of the best games ever made on PlayStation 1 and PS2. Like, you got Final Fantasy VII, you got Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Metal Gear Solid 1. You got all sorts of amazing games on the PlayStation and PlayStation 2. I know we're an Xbox fan channel, we're an Xbox channel, but we do still appreciate the retro games on PlayStation. The fact that Jim Ryan's just completely says, oh, what's the point of putting PS1 and PS2 games on backwards compatibility is just mad to me. No. Bad, Jim Ryan. I mean, the big people I always hear online saying that they're going to miss being able to meme on him, which I will miss that, but I prefer to have someone who's competent in charge, to be honest. Than someone I can just meme on. If they had someone who was like similar to Phil Spencer in charge of PlayStation, I think I would like him a lot more if they had a more gamer focused CEO. Personally, bring Shuhei Yoshida, make him president. God's sake. Anyway,
well, that leads to the final question of the week.
I have a question for you, Chief.
So, Lewis, the last question for you is: who do you think will replace Jim Ryan as the CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment?
So it should be Shuhei Yoshida because he's great, but it'll probably be someone like Elon Musk or someone really bad.
No. No, don't.
I don't know any of the other CEO. That's the thing with PlayStation; they're all kind of behind closed doors now. You don't really know. Like in Xbox, it's like we know obviously Phil Spencer, we know Sarah Bond, Matt Booty. We know a lot of the higher ups in Xbox. Like, I think if Phil Spencer retired tomorrow, we would probably suspect that Sarah Bond would probably be next in charge, right? Whereas
Yes.
PlayStation, they're kind of a bit more hands off and a bit quieter about it. Like, it's weird to have Jim Ryan as the face of PlayStation because that's what he has been for the last 3 years. There'll probably be another suit, another guy who's like
Yeah,
just
that would
doesn't
be
really
bad.
care about gaming. But I'm really hoping they do put someone in there who actually cares about gaming, actually cares about the consumers, and wants to make a good product. Because I feel like they're very short. A lot of the stuff they're doing is very short term thinking. Like they focus on live service games, trying to make just a quick buck out of the consumer instead of sticking to what made them popular in the first place. Like instead of making the games that are good for like gamers and keeping their popularity up, they decided they're going to throw all that away and just go into live service games and just try and milk people for money. I think, okay, you'll get a quick buck that way, but I think people will get fed up and just leave your service. And I feel like they need to, remember what brought them to the dance in the first place and just stick to that, personally.
Well,
I hope they bring in someone a bit better, personally. Bring
Jim
Reggie
Ryan,
back!
Jim Ryan did actually move the focus to live service games, and that did not work well. So chances are you'll probably get another CEO who would probably not paying too much attention to live service games unless you get someone from Square Enix and work there for PlayStation.
Ooh, Don Matrick for PlayStation CEO. Oh, can you imagine? Don Matrick, bring him back. Let's have him tank PlayStation.
It's even worse if you get someone from Weirgin Industries and be working for PlayStation.
Oh my god, yes, that's a deep cut. I don't really know, as I said, I don't really know the hierarchy in PlayStation. They did say who the president's going to be for, like, going forward. They did already say that. I can't remember his name. The Japanese guy. What's his name? Is it in the article? It's not in the article. They have already said who's going to be replacing him, but he might only be temporary boss, I suppose. Long-term boss, I would like them to have someone a bit more personable, a bit more, consumer friendly. As I said, I would like, I like Phil Spencer. I think he's a really good advocate, a really good face for the company. So,
just
like
anyone who's
really
not a Cobra
Suit.
Commander for it.
Yeah, just someone who I don't like hearing the constant like, live service games bring in this amount of money and we can make this much money and money. That's literally all he ever talks about. He doesn't talk about customers or what's good for us. It's just like, how can we get as much money out of the customers? And it's like, I want someone to come in and just go, we're going to get rid of the £10 upgrade for PS4 to PS5 games. We're going to put the price back down to PS5 to a reasonable price. I want them just to become gamer friendly again and compete in that way instead of just being like, we're so good that we don't need to change anything. And they don't have to compete is the thing, but I would like them to. I would like them to compete on a customer service base. But the arrogant Sony is the one we got at the moment. I'm hoping the removal of Jim Ryan means that we're not going to have arrogant Sony going forward, but who knows? Who knows? Get Don Matrick in. If you want someone as arrogant as Jim Ryan, I'm sure you'll just do just as bad a job as Jim Ryan.
Yeah.
Meow. I'm being vicious today. I'm sorry. I just don't like what Jim Ryan's done to PlayStation, to be honest, because I'm a big fan of all consoles, and it makes me I've not been a fan of PS5 at all this generation, to be honest. I will be playing Spider-Man 2, but that is literally the only game the only reason to have a PS5 personally, and I would love to see them change to a more of a customer-friendly console, but we'll see. Fingers crossed.
Right, we must move on, and I think we're pretty much gone through this. I was kind of hoping we'd get more with the Jim Ryan stuff and celebrating his career, but I think there's not a lot of it. So he's probably going to be remembered as the CEO of the PlayStation during the PlayStation 5 era. And
the COVID president, the one who was there when they went through the bad times of COVID, and the guy who was the first ever console developer to put the price of a console up after launch. Congratulations, Jim Ryan. Your legacy will be outstanding.
And also the one who, I don't know, like
$70 games.
Well, to be honest, I was kind of hoping to praise him as much as I could, but I don't think there's much to praise him. But I think, to be honest, as someone who likes retro games as well, so I think it's probably like not so great. But then
I love that.
I think it's just also nice that he's been in the PlayStation business, and I wish to know more about his history. Like, if he's been involved in like the classic PlayStation ads during the 90s, or even like gets the games through for the PlayStation 2 and Setware in Europe at least, then it would certainly be really nice and get to like remember what he did. But I think it's when he got into the higher positions, he just went into the public more. So yeah, but we'll just get to find out more. So yeah.
I mean, he's been proven to lie to the customers as well. It's like he comes up with statements, and then you look at the court. You look in the court articles, like you'll have the emails coming out saying about how he didn't believe what he's been telling people. Like, we'll be fine without Call of Duty is what he tells everyone inside the business, but outside the business, like, we're doomed to fail. If Call of Duty goes, we're gonna die. Ah! It's like, shut up, Jim. But yeah, I'm not gonna miss him, honestly. I hope he seemed like he might be a nice guy outside of the company, but I've never met him, so I can't judge. And, you know, good luck with the rest of your life. I'm sure you're a rich millionaire. You can retire and just enjoy life. I'm sure he's got I don't think he cares what an Xbox podcast has to say about him. I'm sure he'll be fine.
All I can say
enjoy his life.
Enjoy your retirement, Jim Ryan.
Enjoy.
But I'm sure he did a lot of good things for Sony,
You're sure he did
except for the
we haven't
recent
heard it.
times. But just whatever. I think we're just already like going into full circles of it, so we'll just have to wrap this all up.
Enjoy your retirement, Jim. We will not miss you.
Yeah.
Meow. I feel bad saying that. I don't like saying stuff like that, but he has annoyed me over the last year or so with his comments, I must say. And I'm glad he's gone. I'm hoping that they're going to just change to someone new. And it's not, as I said, he's not like he's died or anything. He's gone off to go on a beach and drink martinis and have a really nice time with his life. So he's happy. So whatever. All right. That's it. I'm done.
Well, until then, thank you for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe. And I hope you have a great week. And hopefully PlayStation will get someone really good in. And hopefully we might even see more praise for Starfield as well as Forza Motorsport. So until then, take care and enjoy.
So long, farewell, as feeders say goodbye. Goodbye, Jim Ryan.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the X Marks the Box podcast. Follow us at X Marks Box on Twitter or X Marks the Box on YouTube. And follow us on all audio podcast services. Thanks for listening.